Hello from my side as well. So let's continue with reform issues. I am Vahur from Environmental Investment Center, calls in Estonian KIK, EIC, but KIK sounds better, I think. And I'm active as a water reform project management manager in KIK. KIK is like implementation agency, action for ministry with climate. If Ellen present about the reform processes in Estonia going on right now, then yes, ministry is catering the decisions how to make reform, but I am supporting them to these catering processes. And as much before I took this place in KIK, I were active as a manager in the water works in countryside. And before that, 8 years, I was active as manager the Waterworks Association. And after that, that project management different EU projects and started in water management field from 2003. So it's the reason why sometimes my advice for decision makers good to listen, but I am not the decision maker. Yeah, artificial intelligent helped me with these flags, so I'm glad for that. So let's look a little bit again historical evolution of water sector management in Estonia. So I picked up the more interesting phases. Let's look together, because Dmitri from Narva Vesi and Vallo and Helen and others already told more detailed this situation, how it's developed, but just a quick look again. So you can see what kind of experiences we got from in Estonia. So we just know better what kind of experience we have and what we can use together with cooperation with you. So this Soviet time, it was centralized water management, totally centralized. And lead by state governance under the single unified system. And all investments were centralized, planned and managed. So when we get our independence, then it was a transition to a state-owned enterprise. And then state enterprise Eesti Vesi, Estonian Water, established and organized all services outside from Tallinn over the Estonia. Central model maintained, but anyway, market economy pressure increased. And then grows a need to establish one company called Eesti Veeverk, Estonian Waterwork, let's say, were started to support government and this waterworks to get money from different foundations, NEFCO, EBRD. So it collect all consultancy here, and focus were on water infrastructure in small towns and settlements. And one turning point was 1995, when then this state company, Estonian Water, liquidated. Ownership of infrastructure transferred to municipalities. Then Estonian Waterwork Association was established. It's the classical association what is active in Ukraine as well. So, and I know that Estonian Waterworks Association and yours association got very good cooperation. Maybe you heard something about our waterworks as well, maybe not. So now legal and institutional framework from our independence to 2000. We got the Nature Protection Act, Environmental Impact Assessment, and decentralized environmental governance. Regulation of water use, protection and monitoring, system of permits and charges, core regulatory framework for the water sector. It's under the Water Act, all. And this, our Bible, nowadays as well. In 1999, Public Water Supply and Sewerage Act was designed. Rights and obligation of services providers and consumers. Mandatory 12 years development plans for waterworks and legal basis for tariff regulation. So, and then integration of EU water policy principles, introduction of the river basin approach. Then we got our commercial code, and all municipal enterprises transform into companies, public limited companies, and limited companies in small municipalities. So, but maybe interesting for you as well that 2000 the decision were made to privatize Tallinna Vesi, our biggest company. And let's say, we can ask, was it a good decision or not so good? I would say that in one hand, it was good decision because the investor from the British United Utilities, British company, looked more efficiency issues because it's oriented, profit-oriented was the approach. But on the other hand, maybe the investments wasn't to make investments wasn't so important. But for nowadays, it's different. Tallinna City buy the major part of shares from the British company, and now Tallinna Vesi is owned by Tallinna City, the major part of shares. So now we can say that Tallinna Vesi is owned by municipality, the major part as well. Then the EU integration, implementation, and new directions. Helsinki Convention, polluter-based principle. Yeah, then I think that Olav is more talking about that field. But maybe good to underline that 2000 was KIK founded as an implementation agency, belongs to the ministry, who take care all this projects management, loans management, and so on. Yeah, KIK, core functions as implementing agency. KIK is development partner and services delivering project management and financial services. These practical things. Okay, it's not so important. I miss it. But little bit more deeply for this design. I designed this scheme or pyramid 20 years ago when I was active as a project manager from the beneficiary side and made this presentation to the people from European Commission when they monitored how the project's implementation goes on, progresses. So, my message was that the decisions should be allowed to made where the greatest competence lies. So, if Oksana, I remember here, told that what is important really, then I totally agree with Oksana that we need good project management and good project managers who will take care about the project implementation processes. Because all right decisions are started here. And if we are looking for or hunting for money, then okay, let's say that all these players must heard what is needs, practical needs in this level, because they are responsible afterwards what was designed, what was construct, and how it works really in field. Yeah, and of course, consultation, or let's say by a more simple way, communication, and you have to talk in every level. Talk to people, talk to people, talk to people.
If you still want to hear something from me, дякую for your patience. This is about the last process how we measured some our neighbor water utilities, and we started project. Actually, this project was started 2 years ago, and in the May of previous year, we just signed an agreement between two owners. The one is Narva City, and another one is Narva East City. And after 3 months, we are signing this agreement and show to the public, and the balance sheet was starting from the year, summer of previous year. And finally, we accept the whole activity in this area in October of previous year. And what is achieved to us, for me, is as a manager of these utilities, no, let's say, brings additional headache and additional challenges, because it's slightly different. It's more or less similar, but different business, even if it was close to us. And we achieved assets on which cost 1.5 million, and we received one more member of the supervisory board. Before it was only 5, today is 6. One certain representative for the nearest town is Narva Iso. Before we are operating in the Narva city is red circles on ovals, and the Narva Iso city. These two cities was connected by sewage pipe, and in Narva Iso just all sewage collected in the one pump and pumping toward to the Narva, where the wastewater treatment plant accepted and treated further. And we just add to the additional small areas. This brings to us less than 5% of our total amount of service. And today we are lucky operator in this area too. A couple of small information about existing utilities. Narva-Vesi, I already told this, and we produce approximately slightly more than 3 million cubic drinking water. And water intake, we are using the so-called service water that we take from the Narva River, and the intake point is located 26 kilometers from the town. It was made in already 40 years ago, was decision that to take water from the farthest place when not any enterprises near this area. And we have the modern water treatment plant that we installed during the process of investment with using European funds. And today we have a 6-stage water treatment plant. Wastewater treatment we are received under clean sewage in amount in the year more than 7.5 million. Why is this difference so big? Because mostly we have a common sewage system, and we start to erect or build the separate sewage system, storm sewage system 5 years ago approximately. And before everything was in the common system, and the whole wastewater treatment plant should accept this and handle this. Installed capacity is 45,700 cubic meters per day, and total people equivalent is equal to 37,000. About infrastructure, we have 188 kilometers of water networks and 150 approximately sewer pipes, and additional already 57 kilometers of storm and drainage water system. And 30 pump stations in operation, that's pumps to mostly all these pumps is sewage pumps. This is our org structure. The shareholders I already mentioned. There's two cities. One have approximately slightly less than 95%, and the smaller one is 5% or slightly more. 6 members of the supervisory board, and 1 is a management board. Total workforce is 81 employee, total full-time employee. That's comparing with Valda told about Tallinna-Vesi. Tallinna-Vesi has 350 employees, but operation income them at last 10 times more, and it's a very easy calculation, and men in the supervisory board can make this calculation very easy, and they calculate it this way that at last for more efficient, at last we will have let's say 35 employees. It's from my side, it's not possible, of course, but nevertheless, people decides very easily. And there is a different department. The most important for me for us is a water treatment plant and wastewater treatment plant. There are separators, separate location, and of course maintenance department, 15 employee, and water and sewage network department. This is the people who handle with the tube systems. Maybe what water treatment plant and what this water and sewage network department is the most important from this because there's any problem, very urgent goes to the authority, and if something happen, they know it's first. No other is all other here is people who is handle with the employee, the so-called HR department, who will with the procurement and other additional. And we go through the three phase of a very big investment when we became the part or member of the European Union. We start to use this possibility to use the funds from European Union and make some investment. First phase was from 2002 till 2005, starting not a little bit early, but during this first stage we spent almost 9 million, from which more than 60% comes from European Union and from the local authority additional 10%, 20%. And during this, I will show you further. Now the second phase when we water and sewage network was expansion, and we spent almost very close to 10 millions. And during this phase was erected new tubes for those time in Narva town, Narva city was areas where the inhabitants was allowed to connect to existing water system pipe. And the last one, I hope it's not lost, but the phase number 3 is when we water treatment plant reconstructed, and there is 45.5 million, but we spent it not only the water treatment plant, but additional was changed the tube system, old one, the water tubes and the sewage tubes. How it was starting the phase number 2 when we renovated our waste water treatment plant. Today is already 20 years by and go, and we are almost in the beginning of the new renovation. We are just received the analysis of existing system and preparing for the further investment. But nevertheless, we're starting from this. This was where tubes was installed during the second phase. It looks like it's everybody more or less familiar with this process. And from 2007, phase 3 was started, and during this period was the measure was we achieved as we built a new water treatment plant. For today's in Estonia, only 2 places who use surface water. It's Narva city and Tallinn city. All others use the water from the underground, from the wells. And this is the quite modern. And in 2013, the concrete stone was laid, and our environment minister was involved in this process, and we are starting to erect. This is how the old one looks like until the 2015. And this is our new one. And for today's quality of drinking water is fulfill every demand that from European Union comes to the drinking water. And but we are the water utility responsible for the water quality inside the common system. It's before the, let's say, connection point for the consumer. Connection for the consumer is at 1 meter before the consumer border. That's according to our legislation. This is how it looks like after the completion. The whole, such amount of paperwork was involved in this project, but nevertheless, this is the technical information included too. And that's all from my side. Дякую.
From that point, it is good to continue to describing what funds we are using today, how we are trying at least pushing more money into the water sector. My name is Olav Ojala. I work in the ministry already a bit more than 9 years. And before that, I worked in private company managing hazardous waste treatment business, also remediation of polluted soils. And my academical background is environmental technology and also public management and innovation. And our main, if we are talking what money we are pushing in, we should start thinking where is money collected. One road is environmental charges. In the Estonians, we have in Estonia we have simplified 2 types of environmental charges. One are natural resource charges, and other type is pollution charges. And several of them are also connected with water. We collect water abstraction charge, and we also collect pollution charge of water bodies and groundwater. These charge revenues are mainly collected from North Estonia. In East Estonia, Northeast Estonia, we have strong industrial activity, and in Tallinn region is also quite active in water usage, both in industrial activity, production, and also there are a lot of citizens. And this is an effect what we have, what Val already described, that our pollution loads are quite have been decreasing because of we have renovated lots of things. We have EU rules. We have also HELCOM targets that are more challenging than even EU, and therefore the reduction has been multiple times from the beginning of our regaining our independence. Also, a reduction of phosphorus is even more radical, but it is also possible to see that we are somewhere approaching in a constant line, and it is quite hard to go even more downwards. And this is the result published by HELCOM. It illustrates quite well that the portion that, of nutrients that come into the Baltic Sea actually comes from other diffuse loads, not so much from point sources. So from wastewater treatment, this is a very tiny portion. From Estonia that comes, and somewhere this portion is more important. And what about this abstraction charge? This charge limit, wide limits that are collected is fixed with Environmental Charges Act, and exact rates are regulated by a regulation of government. And there are also some derogations. Abstraction rate is not charged for hydroenergy production and also from irrigation of agricultural land, including greenhouses. And also it is not collected for fish farming purposes, water usage. And this is example. It is not the final version. Nowadays we have one column here for year 2026, but it's last version that was also possible to get in English. And the idea is that water charges rates are agreed in regulation for 10 years. So it is quite clear for entities what the future situation will be. And if we zoom in, it also sees that in some lines it is fixed rate, but sometimes also there is a weak gradient of increase. So different aquifers have different rates also. Also, this is the way how we try to save deeper aquifers for overconsumption. And this is an illustration that shows how the water obstruction charges have collected from 15 years. And it is mainly quite a stable amount, and it depends how active we are in our mining activities there. And this also shows the revenues. Even today, we have quite the same ratios. The main two most important part for collecting these obstruction charges are water obstruction for domestic use and whatever production, and as closely as that rate, also the mining water tax is quite similar in euros. And also this shows that if we have some decreases in oil shale electricity power consumption or production, then we can obstruct and collect much more money with that schema. But this domestic use and other industrial use of water is every year more or less same, and also money collected from that activity. So our main national funding program of environmental protection activities is environmental program, and when our companies pay this water obstruction tax, they pay it to the tax agency. Environmental board is ruling the amount of payments and making the supervision, but the money is paid through the tax agency systems, and it divides into two portions. One goes to the local municipality when the entity is active, and another part goes to the state budget. It is more or less 50-50, but it is not always 50-50 with each type of water obstruction. For example, from mining activities, it goes 16% for local municipalities, but most of other activities is more or less 50-50 ratio. And exactly the same amount that comes to the state from this water obstruction goes to the foundation of Environment Investment Center that Vahur represented. And with that money, we are running this environmental program. And this environmental program has different thematic targets. Water is one of these targets, but also air and the circular economy, forestry, fish reproduction, and environmental awareness. And here are sub-programs under each of these thematic groups. And yes, water has its own subgroups, but also fish stocks and fish stock renovation is very much connected with our water targets, also with river basin approaches and so on. So we sometimes try to make some co-works there. And of course, marine environment is also connected with water. Also, river basin management system covers these coastal water bodies. And as Vahur said, that pollution-paid principle should be mentioned. Then we started to implement the pollution-based principle from 1998. And we can't implement it backwards. from that date. So every pollution that happened before 1998, we consider as residual pollution. Mainly, it's a historical legacy from Soviet time, but also we gained our independence back from 1991. So this historical era covers also our early independence years, and actually these years were quite tough years in Estonia. Criminality was high, a lot of scrap metal stealing, and also less knowledge how to remediate sites, how to clean up old tanks of fuels and heavy fuels and so on. And we have a lot of problems there. Therefore, we can also cover these pollution issues also with our environmental program. So we have specific remediation of residual pollution as a sub-program under our environmental program. And main target group of this program in whole run is local municipalities, universities, private entities, and NGOs. So far, so good. We have supported a lot of entities and a lot of projects, and this is summarum. But it's not everything, because this environmental program was also existing before we used euros, when we had Estonian kronas, but it's hard to calculate that type of sums together. But this is the sad picture of our program. We have had quite strong years behind, because when we had this strong electricity production from oil shale, we had also higher revenues from this water abstraction rate systems. But nowadays, the whole amount of this program has decreased, but also amount of water has decreased very strongly. So we have quite ruins, less that or remnants that we can use compared with previous decades. But anyway, even with that money, we do as much as possible out of it. And how we use that instrument is we also try to support our water reform. We try to push water utilities to consolidate, and we have specific rules that we don't pay for non-sustainable, very tiny water companies because this is the waste of money. And we have some benchmark or screening values that they have to reach. They have to have at least 5,000 customers and 6 agglomerations, and one of these agglomerations at least 2,000 personal equivalent. But and also in other targets, we have specific. We prefer specific values. It's normal that there are multiple times more projects that want to be funded than we have money to give. Therefore, we have quite tough but clear rules for like a criteria. Another program that we use, actually this is not our program, it's under the responsibility of another Ministry of Ministry of Regional Affairs and Agriculture. In Estonia we have close to 84% people are connected with piping. And most of them are in sparsely populated areas, and this program is oriented to sparsely populated areas. And the idea is to give grants for individual boreholes for drinking water, and also for individual wastewater treatment systems, septics, but also tanks, collection tanks. From this program, also private roads are supported, and also autonomous electricity production is supported. But these numbers, how many projects are supported for roads and in electricity production, and how many numbers of projects are supported for individual drinking systems and individual wastewater systems, it shows very clearly that this is also more or less water program. So for local people, these water issues are extremely important. Yes, there are some rules, of course, for that system. Maybe the main part of these rules is that the entity who wants to get the support puts 1/3 of the budget in it, and 2/3 are supported by the program, and actually 1/3 comes from the state, and 1/3 comes from the municipality. And municipalities are making the choice who gets the grant. So this has very strong local view in it. We also give grants for flood risk prevention. We have one open call right now. There is still money in it, and we support cities and also villages who are in flood risk areas. We have defined, if I remember correctly, somewhere 33 flood risky areas in Estonia. Actually, flood risk is not in Estonia not as high as in some countries in Europe, of course, but still we have had some even bigger flooding events in Pärnu harbor area, but we also have some river-connected places inland, and of course coastal areas can be sometimes problematic. But we see also that the trend is important. Year by year we have more intense flood issues, and therefore we provide grants mainly for local municipalities. But also for water companies, also for county or municipality associations and so on. And the main idea is to build appropriate infrastructure systems, nature-based solutions, and also there have been some, Estonian Rescue Board has bought some mobile systems to just block the flood water if it will be necessary. One important part of it is also restoration of water regime in drained areas, because this bad side of water draining is cumulative effect on downflow. So restoration of these areas can make water flow into more slow way, and gives extra time for the nature itself to use that water. We can skip some rules, but other a bit similar grant that we are providing right now. This call is also open. It's grants for combined stormwater systems, and this is oriented to help municipalities to cope with stormwater. In Estonian, we have had also some studies that show that our rainwater properties have changed in years. And our precipitations per year haven't grown much, but year by year our rains are more intense. The same water that came down historically in 1 hour now comes down in half hour. So city water infrastructure has always some limits, critical flow rates that they are serving. And if now the water is coming out in small time window, these critical limits will exceed it, and then it is flooding the city roads. And it can happen in one places where the rain is active, but very often it has problems occur some steps above where this water is collected into the bigger pipes, and then the bigger pipe volume cumulatively is exceeded. So we can make bigger pipe, and we have already renewed our constructional standards according to our new studies. But anyway, even if we have very new pipes with new dimensions, sometimes happen that it is still not enough. So it is not, making bigger pipes is not the only way to cope it. Another solution is to build nature-based ecosystems or nature-based, close to nature solutions. We try to infiltrate as much water as it is possible into the road materials or into the surfaces, or keep the water in some kind of temporary ponds or ditches, so that the outflow from these temporary systems is slower. So after that, there is no problem if the water is raining in very tiny time window. But if the outflow from this water system is slow, then it will fit into the pipes anyway. And this is the main reason why we are also supporting this close to nature systems or sustainable urban drainage systems. And also we give funds for projects who are making this joint sewage systems into separate systems where wastewater and stormwater is in different pipes, because that reduces the pollution load of wastewater treatment plants, and it also avoids us to waste energy into the water treatment. Also, permeable road and park materials are eligible, and all kind of systems that are using rainwater instead of directing rainwater into pipes. One interesting grant that is also, the call is right now open, is energy efficiency in wastewater treatment. As it was already said today, the wastewater treatment is very energy consuming, and we also have targets from EU that we should gain energy neutrality in water treatment. So this is our approach to move towards it somehow. But at starting point, we have a problem that we doesn't, in a lot of wastewater treatment plants, this plant operators didn't know exactly what to do, how to save energy. There have been some audits in some plants, and where the result of this energy auditing in wastewater treatment plant was that it is a potential to cut down electricity costs about 30% per plant. Therefore, we started this granting system, and we try to make a very good overview in wastewater treatment plants how the energy saving should be possible, and then move towards to the reduced energy consumption. And one problem why we want to do it, of course, EU targets are also right now actual targets, but we actually started to design the grant system even before. We have a problem in Estonia that the electricity price is very volatile, and sometimes it is extremely high. And therefore, if the wastewater treatment is very electricity consumptive, it is also uncertainty for plant operators what the cost will be, for example, next year. So therefore, it is critical to try to cut down this electricity, at least wasting the electricity in wastewater treatment plants. And therefore, right now we are giving grants for wastewater treatment plant energy audits. They can order studies and search what the actual energy consumption is in different wastewater treatment processes. And also, if they have historical audits, they can update them, and they can assess what the investments are to improve their energy efficiency. And also, we are giving grants for real works, real investments, for process automation, for process management change, because very often there was described with audits that if the process management is changed into another technology, not just pumping air in as much as possible, or as much there is a specific oxygen level, but if it is driven according to redox potential, then it is totally different management technology, but it can save huge electricity because you don't have actually need to pump so much air in it. And pumping the air is quite costly. We have ruled that all these investments have to be based on the results of energy audits, so that we have a connection there. And we have only two prerequisites. We don't allow to pollute more than it was before. We can't just cut some important process parts out of the systems to say that now we use less energy. And also we can't emit more greenhouse gases after the work. We use, in that grant system, we use the money from greenhouse gases quota exchange business. So we have gained more money with this greenhouse gas business as a state, and we can invest it in with different granting system. And this grant is quite popular. We have already more than 12 audits financed, and we have several already wanting that type of money, and we have very fresh rule changement implementing, stepping into the implementation next week, because we also changed easier the system This grant is not considered as state aid. Historically, all that type grants were considered as state aid. So this is a new approach, and it makes easier for companies. It also makes easier for the Environment Investment Center. Also, one important program that I want to talk about is a LIFE program. We are not providing LIFE grants ourselves, of course. LIFE is quite familiar, and this event here is also financed by LIFE, but we make strong co-work with the program. I'm also official national contact point of LIFE program. National contact points are not involved in the project evaluation processes, but we are making informational campaigns in our own countries, and we are helping potential applicants. How we give feedback whether this potential project does it fit well in the LIFE system, or is there any other more reasonable fund for that activity? And of course, some LIFE programs we are driving also from our ministry. In the LIFE program, water is a bit hidden into the circular economy branch, but still there are a lot of activities that are eligible in water world. And maybe from the Commission view, maybe the most actual part or new part in water are water reuse, because this is water reuse policy is quite fresh policy from EU, and Commission has very big hopes that countries are picking this policy up, and therefore water reuse is considered like innovation, good innovation from EU side. But of course, activities that are orientated to cut down water loss are also important from LIFE, and can be written as an application in quite popular way. And if we are talking about this standard action projects, normal budget of this type of projects are more than 1 million euros. And the main rule is that the support rate is 60%, and this beneficiary should put 40% as their own. Was to lead the team who designed the project application. So, and I also participate in negotiations with Commission. And also this is a very important project for me, that I'm in Ukraine. It's my second time to be in Ukraine. And I visited Ukraine in 2019 under the project of Life Cleanest. And if Henry told today what Life Cleanest has done, then I told what Life Cleanest will do. But the text was more or less same. And another, in my mind, there is very important benefit from this project is that in Estonia we have always had lack of money, almost in everything. And main environmental improvements that we have done have been like project by project by project. It's like a quite opportunistic approach. It's not the best way how to remediate the ecosystems, because ecosystems are not point and point and point. It's a whole system. But this integrated project at first connects very different activities in same area. And also it connects several activities from preparation real activities, and also implementing of real landscape renovation or pollution remediation, excavation and final treatment and so on, and even final habitat restoration, ecosystem restoration. If all these activities are combined into the same project umbrella, it is very much effective. And of course, we are piloting some different solutions how to measure the success. We are also bringing this ecosystem service evaluation here, and we can test different things. So combining it all, this is like it's almost the same effect like in basketball. If you switch from man against man defense, you switch it into the territory defense. It's strategically different way how to make differences in ecosystems. And also wet test was well described here. And one very important part of the wet test project is a part how to find new finances. And not only grants, but how to put money into the business of water sector in new ways. We'll definitely try some finance instruments here, but at right now we are quite early stage, but we have a decent working group in it, and our delegation, Estonian delegation member Joosep is here, who is very hands-on leading this working group, and we have budget for that working group, and we already have some ideas, but of course it takes time, but anyway, we have to find some other ways out, not just injecting grants, but also we should put the money working in another way for these ecosystems. And also, we have several standard life projects in Estonia, also in water activities. And maybe one of the famous life projects in water in Estonia is Urban Storm. And this was carried out in Viimsi municipality, very close to Tallinn. And they had, the main idea was to test several solutions how to cope with stormwater. And also the same territory has problems with groundwater in summer times. There is an overconsumption of groundwater resources. So they tried several ways how to filtrate more rainwater into the soils, and also they reconstructed historical manor park into the close to nature water preserving systems. There are ponds where the outflow is designed so that the water is not directly driven away, but it stays in ponds and also keep this area in more wet or more vegetable. And also there are life project from the same municipality, but from the waste, from the water company from the same municipality, there was a life project, Alchemy. They were designing and testing filter material recovery systems of filter materials that are used in drinking water purification. This region has radionuclides in drinking water, and if they are treating this drinking water, in the end, this filter material is a bit radioactive. So they had piloting how to recover this filter material, and they made it in co-work with some Spain partners. And I said our water funding approaches have been very opportunistic. If there has ever been possible to push any foreign funds into the water world, we have used as much as possible. Almost, I can say that almost every wastewater treatment plant and every drinking water plant have had some kind of grants in the future, in the past. But yes, in the long run, of course, we want to make our water reform so active that we will not need any grant injections anymore. But to reach that target, we have quite challenging investments that we need to do, and also this consolidations should be very, very effective. Anyway, thank you all. If you have any questions about this solution, you can ask, but also if you will stay together in longer formats, then I'm here.
Yeah, thank you very much for joining the seminar. It has been a pleasure to be here, and tomorrow we will have a field visit as well. We are looking for that. And I hope we have established a platform or established a platform for future cooperation. And we could establish joint projects, because we really do have resources within this LifeSip wet test projects to develop new projects and to collaborate. So you're welcome to contact us, and also we could go maybe more deep in different topics if it's necessary, and to organize some online meetings, for example. And yes, as already mentioned by Olav and other colleagues, Estonia has modernized technologically and optimized and digitalized our water systems. But this has also made us quite vulnerable due to different attacks, and due to that modernization, specifically with this, maybe also with these staff reductions. We don't have so much knowledgeable people anymore, and also due to outsourcing different services, this has also made us more vulnerable. So this is something I think we can learn from your side, how to keep resilience and how to lower vulnerability. Yeah. Thank you.